The drive to make everyone a prompt engineer was so 2023. For business users of Microsoft 365 Copilot, prompting remains an important baseline skill, but the idea that all you need from your AI assistant can be achieved using one magical prompt has dissipated. In its place have come different usage techniques and customization options that enable you to make your Copilot a better fit for what you need than ever before. In this video, I'm going to focus on the different capabilities Microsoft 365 Copilot has for customization, so you can make your AI assistant very much your custom AI working the way you choose. My name is Nick DeCourcy. I'm a Microsoft 365 consultant who specialises in AI adoption for small and medium-sized businesses. I'm also a Microsoft MVP for Microsoft 365 Copilot. If you're interested in keeping up with AI advancements, make sure you get subscribed to the channel and drop this video a like so you get to see more from me in the future. And if you're interested in working with me, check out the links down in the video description to get in contact. If you've been a Microsoft 365 Copilot user for a while, then you've probably seen this slide created by Microsoft, or something very similar, that documents the different components of a prompt. If you're wondering what a prompt is, it's anything you type into your AI chatbot's input box, or the words you speak to it. And this framing of goal, context, source, and expectations is still useful to understanding how to get the best from AI tools. But in my view, as model intelligence has increased and the amount of context those models can keep track of has evolved, the need to worry too much about what specific prompts say has decreased a great deal. Now, there are places where building a good prompt is still very useful. For example, you can share prompts with others in your organisation if you're expecting repeatable, consistent results. And there are tools to do that, like Prompt Gallery or other features. If you're building AI systems rather than just using a chatbot, then prompt engineering and similar optimization is very important there too. But in general, if you're looking to improve the quality of what you're getting from interacting with Copilot or different agents, the concept I want you to have front of mind is not that you need to write the best prompt, but that you need to have the most valuable conversation. And that more conversational technique gets more users further because first, it's just more natural to the way most of us think through the tasks we might be looking for help with from Copilot. And second, because it takes a lot of pressure out of having a prescriptive technique learned, it lowers the barrier to entry. But within those conversations, it is helpful to use the capabilities Copilot has for customization, as this can give you a serious head start in going from a response that is generally useful but not immediately usable, to one that is specifically useful to your needs and can be put to use within your normal flow of work. Let's look at those customization options. Custom instruction. Many of Copilot's customization options are available directly from Copilot Chat. Just open the chat window and click on the three-dot menu and select Settings, and you can then see customization options under Personalization. Custom instructions allow you to consistently frame how Copilot will respond to your requests. For example, I don't like the tendency of Copilot to edit by rewriting. I prefer it to take my input and offer suggestions or feedback rather than just recreating it. So I've added that expectation to my custom instructions. This set of instructions then applies across every conversation you have, which means you don't need to provide that guidance in your prompts. And this applies anywhere you see Copilot Chat, which is the Copilot app, but also the individual apps like Word and PowerPoint, etc. You can include stylistic choices, background on you and your knowledge, how you'd like Copilot to focus its work, or even how much trust it should put into its internal knowledge versus other types of sources. As you use Copilot day to day and you see consistent guidance that you're having to give it again and again, it makes sense to update these instructions. Saved memories. Also in the personalization options are saved memories. These are specific facts or preferences that Copilot remembers from your interactions, and particularly when you tell it to remember something on your behalf. For example, in a chat with saved memories turned on, I can tell Copilot to remember that my favourite colour is green, and it will update its memory accordingly. If I head back into the saved memories settings, you can see that this memory is now added, and if I choose so, I can remove it. I cannot, however, directly update or add memories from this interface. Those have to arrive from chat. In a new chat, I can ask it to create an image with the background as my favourite colour. It will comply and use its memory. And if I change my mind and decide my favourite colour is actually yellow, Copilot will go ahead and update its memory. Saved memories can be valuable, but it can be overly hard to get Copilot to update them in the flow of your conversation. And in general, you end up having to be explicit in telling it to remember something. Chat memories. The latest addition to Copilot Chat's memory is a feature that is still available as part of the Frontier Preview program as of making this video, and that's chat-based memories. This allows Copilot to consider the content of your previous chats when responding to you. So say, for example, you chat with Copilot about specific aspects of a project. Copilot will then be able to frame further responses to you, even outside of that particular chat, through the lens of this knowledge. However, one of the weaknesses of this solution is that it isn't described with great technical specificity by Microsoft, or by other providers like Anthropic or OpenAI that use similar techniques. I can't tell you, for example, that it considers the last 6 months of chats, nor the last 50 chats, nor that if it turns up 20 related chats, it will integrate only 10 of them. Based on everything else we know of the underlying LLM and context orchestration technology, I can tell you with 100% certainty that it cannot always fully consider every chat you've had that might be relevant and integrate its content into its context. But exactly how those technical limitations surface is maintained as a black box by the AI makers. I would like to see a lot more specificity here, but if you work on the basis that fairly relevant recent chats will be well represented by this feature, but older or less directly relevant chats might not surface, you probably won't go wrong in using this. Notebooks. Copilot Notebooks are a separate feature to chat, but they offer you a powerful toolset for specific project or topic-based customization and context capture. When you create a notebook, you add a relevant and related set of contextual information, including documents, sites, or other assets. But then once created in the notebook itself, you can also add a notebook-specific set of custom instructions that guide the responses. This can be a practical advantage to be able to demarcate different specifics between different projects. Just remember though that notebooks are shareable, and the custom instructions you add to a notebook are one of the resources that get shared, unlike your notebook chats which stay private. So don't include any personal or confidential information in notebook custom instructions. Outside of the Microsoft 365 Copilot app, there are other places across the Copilot ecosystem where you can add customization to tailor your responses. Outlook. In Outlook, under Settings, Copilot and Draft Instructions, you can add specific instructions that informs the Copilot drafting feature. For example, if you want all your emails to be a particular tone or to start with a specific greeting or end in a certain way, you can add that personalization here. This works account by account, so if you have multiple Outlook accounts, this is an account setting, not an app setting. Teams. When using Copilot in Teams meetings, one of the most useful features is the intelligent recap that provides an AI-generated meeting summary. However, you can now customize these summaries using custom summary templates and add any of your own if you have a specific layout you want for your meeting summaries, or if there's specific content that you'd like to extract. Agents. Back in Copilot Chat, one of the most powerful tools we have to customize the Copilot experience is using agents. This is a slightly more advanced use of Copilot, and I'm not going to dig into it in great detail here. I have other videos on the creation of agents. But if you create a new agent, you get to define exactly the way you want it to behave and the knowledge it has access to in the agent builder. However, what I do want to highlight here should bring us back to the issue of prompting skills moving to conversation skills. Once you have a stable of agents that are able to help you with specific aspects of your work, you can chain conversation with them together by mentioning them in chat. This brings their specifically tailored outputs into your overall conversation context, then lets Copilot or other agents work with it. Layer on top of this your other customizations, such as custom instructions or memory, and you can build a pipeline where you can quickly establish the right contextual understanding for Copilot to deliver fully customized, relevant, and immediately usable outputs. This framework is the next evolution of the prompt engineering education we were focused on back at the start of the AI journey, and in my opinion, makes tools like Copilot more usable and approachable for everyone. Did I miss any important places or features you use to customize your Copilot experience? To what degree do you focus on context building and customization tools to get good outputs now versus prompting skills? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching through to the end. Until the next video, bye bye.